You know, just like with Kanye West, same thing happened to him. Kodak Black. I remember the day when he got back in his body. I saw my soul consciousness sticking out. Part of me sticking out, and I remember trying to get back into my body, and they had that entity I just showed you, bald-headed entity, blocking me from being able to do that. And I couldn't get in edgewise. And from what I understand, the woman who took over my body, I got an Ashley Terrell, Renee Wellinger or something, from Destrehan, Louisiana. I know her timeline started in Atchafalaya Bay. Then there's a Radio City Music Hall. I kept getting blocked from getting back. I kept getting blocked. Then, I remember hearing how she got on the Dr. Phil show as soon as she got back in Malibu. They were congratulating her, putting her through rituals where she had to get raped because I'm a very strong person, by people. I heard something, I don't know, Snoop Dogg and them. I saw DJ Khaled in these timelines. I know I sound crazy. My consciousness and soul consciousness is fucked up, mind you, so just bear with me. A lot of evil things. I'm hearing things go, shh. Do something about this evil shit. It's more than just having evil shit in your body and occupying and fucking shit up and shape-shifting shit around. And this Maria Tavarez is the worst. I heard from the people in that timeline. She got paid to block me from getting back in that timeline. And then there was something else I wanted to mention. As soon as that girl got back in my body, she got on a Dr. Phil show. She was getting all sorts. This article here is supposed to confirm where I thought I was just meeting people I knew back in Miracle Mile in my old neighborhood, but turns out they were actually record execs. I heard Clive Davis was in my timelines, Tony Mottola, Mariah Carey didn't like because he ate people or something, I heard in the spirit plane. Barry Gordy, I heard that I actually almost fought, two girls that were his relatives back when I lived in Miracle Mile. I did a video. I gotta see if I can pull it up where I got into a fight. I finished getting into some with somebody. That's when I first started going topless and heard Blake, great blessings like through a tarot reader by the name of Tina Turnup. This Cuban Jewish lady who used to be on my whatchamacallit is her. I remember having dreams of people back in Malibu, welcoming her into my timelines, which started at the PCH for that timeline. To see my fucking family fall like that in that timeline, and I know it's real. I saw it on my soul consciousness, and like I said in that article, I had a fucking Illuminati reptilian that's related to one of the members of the Illuminati actually tried to warn me about going down that timeline, but I couldn't discern or interpret my dreams properly. I didn't see it coming. It's like the same thing with Santa Mercury. something was blocking me, but I have a lot more conference with the spirit plane to know what's coming with that. You know, me being stuck and all this evil shit happening with the fucking ice raids and all of that shit. That just I don't feel like it's real. The spirit plane. I feel, you know, I heard about it months before. I just don't feel like I'm in my timeline. I showed that with the differences in Madonna's nose. You know, I remember her looking like, you know, she was one of the people that took me as a sacrifice in that timeline, and I was a big fan of her when growing up. Madonna Ciccione, and I think her higher self's name is Urantia or something, like that book, Lourdes, or I saw it a while back. You know, I was a big fan of her, and unlike that, Maria should actually help. But take shit from you. But like I say with the Illuminati, even they had pity. They were like, you know, these niggas like Kanye West, Kodak Black, they had some modicum of fame. This motherfucker ain't never had shit. Next thing you know, she gets soul swapped, taking out her body, and all her shit given to somebody else, and she ain't even got like a foundation, nothing to stand on. I mean, in many timelines I've seen, I'm living in the motherfucking tent. It's depressing. It's very depressing. That's why I got my people on the shirt. It sounds like my soul consciousness is fucked up. I can barely fucking cry, but that shit's real. And that shit is what occupies me. And I got this Maria Tavarez throwing shit off, so I can't get back. I heard that the Illuminati in that timeline, the one with Prince Andrew, you can use 694, 695 hertz to see. I've heard to this day. They keep trying to pull my brother Kristen from that timeline in the Santa Muerte's hell realm as a sacrifice. It's evil shit that I got. Evil. It's pure fucking evil. You know, that's why I don't like to talk for people the more than a minute, especially good people like that lady out there who I talk with at times, because I don't want this shit coming to her. But, you know, the shit targeting me is just evil. To know what happened to my family, this what's going on ain't real. I heard it coming months before. A lot more, you know, I wanted to talk about. But it's not important because I don't feel like any of it's real. No entity attachments. You know, I've been trying to get back into that timeline. And then I got this Maria Tavarez as a block. And none of this I agreed to. You know, I had that bald-headed motherfucker, I think, come to me in the Astro back in 2016 or 2014 and 2015. When I woke up from it, after an astral projection, I had a hole in my eye. bleeding. He came to me and tried to get me to do a soul contract. And I'm like, no, after showing me all these wealthy homes, I'm like, I can do that on my own. I don't need to sign a soul contract. I remember seeing a Puerto Rican dude with, semi-bald head and stuff coming to me in dreams. On like in the forest area on like a windmill. I knew something. I didn't see it coming, and it's just unfair. I was supposed to, like, according to Tina Turner, have a silver lining, and now I gotta. That's a tall order to grapple with, to even admit into your reality, to concede to its existence as being soul swap. You can't phantom that. I heard yesterday in the spirit plane, Kodak Black, when he got back in his body, he was coming from timelines where he had nothing. They had reporters, paparazzi running up to him because his clone is famous in this motherfucker. Saying, hey, how you doing? He's like, man, get the fuck away from me. Because he had to go through hell. And I heard that when I'm able to get back, I heard the soul consciousness of that person is her back turned like this, wearing a dress. That's what happens with soul swap people. You either see entity attachments, like with Kanye West, that looks like the album cover for Power. They don't show that person's whatchamacallit. And I remember having a dream one night where I was in a recording studio and I saw Lil Wayne filling up on me. I heard that's how they treated the motherfucker that soul swapped me, like a dog, like she ain't got no rights, and tell her what to do. Because she soul swapped me in part. And he wanted my spiritual powers as part of his lineage. Again, because that Swedish past life, I'm attracted to white men, and I keep having these motherfuckers try to fuck with my shit. I was in a recording studio. I saw Birdman and all that. It was inexplicably worth 130 million. Like I said before, them motherfuckers never made no albums to justify that. The smartest member of them, who I know organically made his money, what's that man's name? Who wrote who did the song High. It was one of my favorite songs to listen to on the PCH when I would get drunk. Juvie, Lil Juvie, Juvenile. He don't work with no Illuminati. He legitimately owns businesses, and that motherfucker's worth, I think, 27 million. How he ain't seeing no 130 million from them contracts. I heard motherfuckers sell their souls for that. Again, I mean, the Illuminati, I heard in the spirit plane, had pity. Use 694, 695 Earth C. And anytime they have pity, that means your shit fucked up. It's a fucked up deal you got. They're higher to highest selves. Use 694, 695 hertz to see. I got serious problems. I wear that cap because of what's going on with the soul swapping, for spiritual protection. It does protect. That man is protected by the God of light. This is how I know I ain't in the right timeline. That man, when he first, everybody knew he was a fool. That's why even a lot of Hispanics turned out in the real timeline before May the 1st, 2024 for him. Back in 2016 and all of that. His intent, I actually saw it one day in the spirit plane with me and Allah and all of that, was to put us back on the gold standard and bring about open borders. Not open borders, but a Karsachev level 1 civilization where everybody is united and there's no borders, there's no nations, all of that's gone. Man's actually a peacenik, and that was his ultimate goal. I heard in the spirit plane. Use 694, 695 hertz to see. Again, the man is protected by the God of light. That this is an entity attachment. This is not him. That's not Trump. I heard they're going to place a black woman, ain't me, in charge. With that being said, from what I understand, the game plan I need to get some Reiki and fix myself up. They're going to put them people in concentration camps. That's why one of the first is the El Salvador CCOT Center. And they're going to kill them motherfuckers. They even have pictures like this of dead people in them. I don't like that. That's not Trump. What's going on isn't him. The man's actually, like me, he's not most politically correct, but he spoke to the most earnest people, the most honest, which happens to be hillbillies, down-to-earth people, so he can corral them and gather them around to try to bring about that vision. Because if you try to appeal to what I call, organic portals and norps, you ain't going to get anywhere. The people who were chiding, riding with Obama and Kamala Harris, who was raping them kids and them Pizzagate emails, her and her sister and all of that, they were big, prominent in them emails, along with Hillary Clinton and all of that. I remember there was a situation where the Clintons had two brothers killed on the railroad tracks for reporting, seeing state, Arkansas state police troopers engaging in selling drugs. They got rid of them. And in the spirit plane, I'm going to say something right now. Bombing them, straight up energy vampires. I don't fuck with them people. All of them. They all Pizzagate motherfuckers, I don't think that's their daughters. Very beautiful girls, by the way. Very beautiful young ladies. And the wife, that's a woman. Regardless of what you think. Very beautiful woman. She looks like the Mars Attacks aliens, but very pretty. Very unusual features. She got them white people features. Really, I forgot the name of it. Not Caucasian. I don't want to say Semitic for black folks. Eliactic, I think. Anyways, with that being said, something ain't right. And I saw that coming months ago. Way before May the 1st, 2024, I was told about this timeline where there would be concentration camps, Mexicans being thrown in them, and alternately blacks being, killed, and the whole world at war in another physical dystopian timeline. 694, 695. Dystopian timeline where it's a transgender woman that heads it. And I got the info months ago. Like I say, the shit I got, it's real and it's accurate. And I can't believe it's playing out. And I got placed in this dystopian shit to, keep me alive. But I got to deal with this Maria Tavarez blocking me from, from what I understand, she keeps energy vampiring and given to that person, them timelines, as well as these nigga bitches here that's with no say so, or got a Pierre Holmes, transgender, Nubian bitch or something, Zoe Williams, Zoe something, and a Paris and Zoe Jennings is their name. The Nubian bitch and all of that. Those timelines are real. I feel that. Elegua, whose real name is Elizondo Salazar, runs those timelines. And it's trying to set me up to be a sacrifice, through Yasafet or something. I heard he has connections through God, and, turned poor Elizondo Salazar, the real name for Elegua, while he was living put him in hell realms, turned him into a demon. That's why, I even have a video that I took of something appearing that's supposed to connote to Maria Tavarez. So something's shining. Me burping, which, from what I understand, correlates to people who've been, you know, turned into gods who were placed in hell realms. I'm saying that to say that I remember one time when I tried to call Elegua Eshu, I heard him doing the same thing, meaning he ain't in his body, and that's an entity attachment. That's why I take the Eastern way of seeing things. But from what I understand with Jehoshaphat is his name. He goes around looking for, victims to put in hell realms, to turn into gods, really demons and all of that for people to use, steal their ability. It's fucked up. That's why I believe in the Eastern philosophy, ancestors, just like what Mexicans work with, what they have to work with because of their origin. The Chinese, Asians as well. Like, in my past life, I was Vietnamese, and that Hernandez, Mikey Hernandez, I heard has my ancestors from that past life. U694 695 Hertz to C, captured him in that Dubik, Dan R. Cienega here. I just heard scraping on my window. Anyways, with that being said, they did something where they mixed that Dubik with my child consciousness or child spirit guide or whatever. Anyways, with that being said, um, I believe in working with ancestors like Anubis and them, Isis, from what I heard from my dad's line I come from. And frequency and vibration. I don't believe in working with anything else outside of that. You get into, unless it's as an aid or something, you get into having a worship and play to their personality, and I don't do that shit. This is just evil. I just felt something right now where everything went dead. I got to get this Maria Tavarez out. She runs that timeline, and again, uh, it, she takes a lot of my shit, puts it into her consciousness. It's that Terry Rita at 323-778-7748. Getting this shit that I'm dealing with is real. This is fuckers keep trying to fuck with you on what you saying, all of that. I gotta figure out what the fuck is going on. With all this evil shit. At the road spirits tried to do something the other day where they were trying to set it up to where I could get all my shit back. And her God, I think they're gonna put it on me, but be careful. Use 694, 695 Hertz to see. Raul Vargas the third was blocking it. It's supposed to, like with her highest self, come from a rapist dad or something, a daddy that raped a mama and got her and her mama, strapped in the hell realm, keeps trying to steal my heat kit or whatever. I don't know the deal with her. If she was a prostitute or something, like the poor sex worker that got raped by Inez Araujo's cousin here. Because again, the god Quetzalcoatl would shapeshift into a white man. The white man is their god, so anything with blonde hair and blue eyes is like equates to a deity to them, to god level. Anything, I heard from a Mexican himself years ago. I was hanging out with in not Tijuana, but I was doing coke with. That anytime you got blonde hair and blue eyes or, white features and all of that, them motherfuckers are quick to get with you. I wanted to mention as a foreshadowing for this situation that I'm in. want to say precognition, but I saw a man that looked just like my father out there. And in my dad's past life, he was actually Mexican. He was from Zacatecas, I learned. He don't deserve what's happening. That's my dad. I've had an Indian past life. A lot of them were English. I've even had them help me out in the spirit plane. And in this one, my mom trying to steal parasites and all that shit from. I don't know what's going on, but I kept having Hecate try to take shit. I heard that she's done took over my Hecate, this Maria Tavarez, and started fucking with it. So I'm going to go ahead and do the cards and get this wrapped. A full-fledged video talking about it. So anyways, in the obstacle position, you got the Ten of Swords, and I feel like you've done hit rock bottom, but you have a lot of cushion buttressing you. In the present position, we got the Devil. Something is telling you to do something that I think could be counterintuitive, that could run counter to your best interest, but take a chance, like save a prayer, like Duran Duran would say, and save a prayer and do it. Future position, Two of Pentacles. You're going to be working with somebody. It's somebody that's odious. They ain't the best, but they're going to offer you protection. Goals, the Chariot. I see you going in a very, very positive direction after taking the chance. But be careful. Make educated, calculated choices. Six of Cups is going to be, okay, that's a subconscious goal, Six of Cups. I see you relying on a lot of, good people, family, and all of that for a betterment. King of Cups. Advice card. You're going in the right direction. You're going to have a lot of help. A lot of people looking out for you. A lot of people doing what they can to try to help you out. Queen of Swords. Check out my Archangel Michael. Now that I think about it the other day, he was telling me, pressing me, make a video. Queen of Swords, that's the energy that circumvents around you. I feel like you got somebody very, very evil and pernicious that's trying to fuck with you and fuck all over you. But you also have the power. That's why you're also the Queen of Swords. Three of Cups. Fears and your hopes card. You're going in a very positive direction, in a very good direction. You're going to be getting a lot of help. You don't see it. Literally made blind to it. That almost looks like, don't they look like the fair ring that I got? Six of Swords is the outcome. You're going into the right place, but just make sure you know what you're doing. With that being said, if you want a more personalized reading, please contact me at readingbyterror22 at yahoo.com. Peace.